and their grandchildren, sons, and it's just a great loss to the community.
There's no question.
Apparently, there's only 3 players still
From the
alive.
58 Colts?
Yeah, from the 58. Lenny Moore, Raymond Berry, and a running back that I'd never heard of until last Friday, Ron Call.
Okay.
I think that's the right name.
I'm trying to pull him up right now. Boy, that is really tough to think about.
Lenny and Raymond both
obviously
have significant dementia issues. Yeah.
Safe home, Andy Nelson, and truly, is it Jack Call? I believe
Jack Call.
Jack Call is who you're thinking of. So really grateful for every conversation and the role that he had played in our community and his commitment to our community. And again, a story of a different time, obviously, where athletes were far more ubiquitous presences within our community.
Yeah, they were the average people.
Right. We all knew them. It's funny, we're going to talk to Roberto Clemente Jr., but that's kind of part of what they're going to talk about in that documentary about Roberto Clemente. And then I didn't spend any time talking about Robert Redford this week either. A truly great American artist, and on the sports...
Lived with me for a little while.
Yeah, you guys were old buddies. when Barry Levinson cast him in The Natural, he called you and said, Stan, I got this guy. I need you to
work on his throwing or something like that.
Could you spend some time with him?
He's one of the great movie stars. Underrated because he's so good looking, was underrated as an actor.
Okay.
He did some very good stuff. Very good stuff.
On the sports front, obviously, we all think about The Natural. I think that Darren McGavin's the true star of The Natural.
He was fantastic.
Darren McGavin was just one of the great actors of the fraternity. You are in control, aren't you, Slugger? Is just one of my favorite. I love that so much.
You know what a lot of people don't really know is that the Roy Haas, shooting, that was based on a real life story.
I remember that being the case.
Yeah, it was Eddie Wakus.
Okay.
Was a Chicago Cub player, and he was shot in a hotel lobby in Chicago by a obsessed
Was
female.
More of the story similar? Like, did he?
No, he was not.
It was a great movie, and so when I was of a certain age, I said I should probably watch The Natural
Yep.
because everybody's raved about what a great movie it is. And not you're just thinking of other baseball movies and not really about all of the other stuff. So it kind of is a weird story in that way, but it's a wonderful film. And of course, Robert Redford is
based on the Bernard Malamud story,
and of course directed by the great Barry Levinson. So safe home to Robert Redford, who we lost this week.
That scene that they show from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, where he admits they're getting ready to jump off the cliff. Paul Newman is so great in that when he says he starts laughing at when he admits that he can't swim, and he said, and then there's that pause, and he goes, "God, the fall will kill you."
I think I saw a few people suggesting that everybody should watch All the President's Men again.
He was
this week,
brilliant in that.
Yeah, it was phenomenal, 100%.
Remember the movie he did with what's his name from James Gandolfini? The
Prison Break, right?
The prison
but
movie.
that's not what it was called. But yeah.
Oh God, he was very good.
It
was very similar. The writing, the structure of the story was very similar to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I don't know that I ever. It's called The Last Castle.
The Last Castle.
I don't know that I ever saw this film.
I'm obviously not well versed in Robert Redford movies, but for some reason I watched that one.
And he was also great in the Brad Pitt movie. God, what was that called? Where
doesn't seem
worked
fair,
in the
having both of them
CIA
sides.
under Redford.
Oh, Spy Game, yeah. Spy Game, of
Game.
course.
Spy
Yes,
Game was
I do know
terrific,
Spy Game.
yeah.
Yeah. Safe Home, Robert Redford.
Of course,
Yeah.
Winter Soldier, Captain America.
Oh,
that's his most
goes right up there, right up at
ubiquitous
the
role,
top of the list. I think
at least for me.
everybody agrees with that. All right, and not someone that we've lost, but someone who is calling it a career. Clayton Kershaw announces yesterday that this will be his final season in baseball. Meanwhile, earlier this week, I believe we saw that Justin Verlander said he's going to try to pitch for at least one more season. But Clayton Kershaw, who, of course, has won 3 Cy Young Awards and was an MVP, obviously a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about that. And in an era where we had fewer and fewer aces, it felt like those that were him, Verlander, Scherzer,
and Charlie Morton to a little bit lesser extent because he got very good.
Yeah,
in
later
his
in
30s.
his career, yeah.
But they'd all be wise, and this is no indictment of like Verlander's pitching very well right now, but the odds of you staying healthy as a pitcher are pretty small anyway. But you get into your 40s, I mean, what are these guys doing, really?
I hear you, but they still pay him a boatload of money
They
to
still
pitch.
pay $15 million.
They still pay him a boatload of money for however many starts they can get out of him.
Yeah.
So I certainly can't argue with their decision to continue pitching for the guys that do.
Yeah.
But I was trying to think about of this era of like 2010
Right.
to now.
Yeah.
And I think those 3, it's Scherzer, Verlander, and Kershaw
No
that
question,
stand out. I don't even know who would be next after that.
I think Charlie Morton's right there.
Is he above Garrett Cole?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the guys that were like 40 years old.
No, I mean like
Cole,
just of this era.
Cole is probably the best of the
next group.
Yeah.
I guess that's a little bit past Felix Hernandez's like.
It was just such a short.
That's the thing. Like maybe I would find out Felix Hernandez actually started in around that area.
Yeah.
It probably did.
I don't think
he
didn't get the win total. Those guys.
Felix Hernandez was 05 to 19. So yeah, he probably does it probably does cross into that conversation and probably deserves to be higher on that list. That Strasburg for a minute obviously was
too short because of the injuries.
Yeah. For a minute, Madison Bumgarner would certainly be in that conversation.
No question about it.
I guess Adam Wainwright would probably be in that.
Greinke-ish.
Greinke is definitely
definitely
in
Greinke's a Hall of Fame pitcher, I think.
Is he definitely a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I think he's definitely.
You're probably right about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tim Lincecum. Is Tim Lincecum?
Tim Lincecum is more like a phenomenon,
right?
Because
he was
like a 5-6 year,
right?
Yeah.
But he won 2 Cy Youngs.
Yeah.
Oh, and was as big a big game pitcher as there was.
David Price.
Yeah, David Price is still in that. And I guess CeCe's still in that. Well, CeCe.
CeCe's in the Hall of Fame
already. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of when his career started. Like, do they? How much?
Right, or something.
CeCe was 01.
CeCe's probably about 46 years
but he did pitch
older.
until 2019. So I guess he does kind of cross into that.
Cliff Lee.
Yeah, it's a tail end.
Better.
Look, man, Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah. I mean, I got to see his 3,000th strikeout. That was really incredible. Like that was.
And as we talked about then,
did
was
he
only
do that here?
No. I was visiting my friend in L.A. and we just we picked that game months ago and it happened to be that one. So that was
because he knew you were coming.
That's true.
Because he said, "I'm not going to do this."
I mean, it is impressive because he was laboring in that game. Like it took him like 6 innings. He didn't get he only needed 3 strikeouts to reach 3,000 in this game, and they were playing the White Sox. So it was like, oh, this might happen in the first inning.
That might have been what told
and
him.
he didn't get it. He didn't get it until the 6th inning, and the final out of the 6th inning, and he was at like 100 pitches. Like, and you could tell he wanted because there was. I mean, the place was sold out like it was a World Series game.
And he referenced in his tweet. He referenced Camden Yards, right? He said, "I finally got that off my."
Once I was able to pitch at Camden Yards, then I've accomplished everything that I needed to accomplish.
Once I pitched in front of Stan the Fan, I said,
only 20 pitchers in the 3,000 strikeout club, Stan.
Yeah. Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course,
course,
Nolan
Nolan
Ryan.
Ryan.
Sandy
Yeah.
Koufax.
Sandy Koufax.
No, that's right. He
forget
didn't-
Sandy
yeah,
Koufax.
he
didn't do
yeah.
it.
It was
3,000 strikeouts. Warren Spahn.
Warren
Walter
Spahn
Johnson.
is not. Walter Johnson
No, Walter
is
Johnson's
yes.
not? Okay.
Oh yeah, comfortably.
Cy Young.
Cy
Pride
Young
and Rage?
is not in the 3,000 strikeout.
Is Verlander there? Verlander's there.
Verlander.
Max
he's not.
Scherzer. Of
Max
course.
Scherzer, of course, is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Verlander is yes.
Okay.
Verlander is as well.
Steve Carlton.
Steve Carlton, fourth all time.
Bob Gibson.
Bob Gibson is definitely in the 3,000 strikeout club.
Roger Clemens.
Roger Clemens, third all time.
Right. We're going to do all 20 of them.
I'll tell you. Randy Johnson, of course,
Yeah,
second.
of course.
Burt Blyleven, Tom Seaver, Don Sutton, Gaylord Perry,
Glavin.
Maddox, Negro, of course, my old friend Fergie Jenkins, Pedro Martinez, Kurt Schilling, C.C. Sabathia, John Smoltz, who was in town last night doing the broadcast, and Clayton Kershaw. That is your 3,000 strikeout club. So yes,
And is he gonna be
congratulations.
the last
Quite a club.
one? Yeah.
Yeah,
quite a
that's
club.
everybody always has. Whenever we see one of these, like, is Clayton Kershaw going to be the last one? I have no idea. I have no clue. Pitchers are pitching longer into their 40s than maybe we had seen for a little while, so that will
Who knows?
perhaps.
Maybe Chase McDermott.
I don't know that Chase McDermott's going to get there, Stan. I don't know that that's going to happen.
Cade Povich.
I hope Kate Povich becomes a pitcher at some point. I hope that's the case. All right, today's show is also brought to you by the Maryland 5-Star, which returns in less than a month. We are less than a month from the 5th edition of the Maryland 5-Star, maryland5star.us, in order to get your tickets for the 2025 Maryland 5-Star at Fair Hill in Cecil County. It is not just a world-class sporting event. It is also a celebration of the fall here in the state of Maryland, with ponies and the Corgi Cup and Food and Wine Festival, great shopping, and so much more. Again, Maryland 5-Star with the number 5.us in order to get your tickets. We come back in. Roberto Clemente Jr., who was nearly an Oriole once upon a time. He'll tell us more about a new film all about his father. That's next. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafalo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1970. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-19.
Confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org. Problem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Bo Smolko profiles Ravens running back Derrick Henry and how the football legend has proven to be a unicorn at the position with the success that he's found after the age of 30. Also,
Glenn Clark Radio, talking about the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no, stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants. So, Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio.
Friday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn, he's Griffin, and on Fridays, our Chief Grand Poobah, Stan the Fan Charles, likes to swing by to say hello. What's going on, sir?
Hello.
See ya.
Can I go now?
Yep, see ya. Thank you for stopping by to say hello. That was exactly what I was looking for today. Appreciate you doing that. Coming up on the program today, a little bit later on, the great Kevin Harlan's going to join us. He's on the call for Westwood One for Ravens-Lions on Monday night. Also, Roberto Clemente Jr., who once upon a time was almost an Oriole. He's going to join us. A new documentary coming out that I just found out is going to air on the History Channel next week. Called Clemente, which is about clementine oranges, actually.
Wow.
That's
I do like clementine.
I do. Who doesn't like clementines? It's all about his father. We'll talk to him about that. And also Rich Tamayo, VP for the Baltimore Ravens, will be joining us, tell us a little bit more about some new things they have going on with the stadium and events. So all of that coming up on the program
What's his exact
today.
title? What's he?
Oh, Stan, why would you put me on the spot like that? What are you doing?
I thought you just said it.
I said he's senior
vice-
vice president of stadium operations and guest experience, but that's too much of a mouthful, so I just say Ravens VP. That's
Okay.
just one of those,
I gotcha.
way too much to say there, so I just truncate it and say Ravens VP. All right, so coming up, I said it was always coming up. Today's show is brought to you by Navy football, who is off this week, off to a 3-0 start to the season. The Mids, as they're trying to do some special things this year, and you should spend your Saturdays in Annapolis. Don't miss the exciting home game schedule, as single-game tickets are on sale now. They feature exciting AAC matchups, including the Commander-in-Chief rival Air Force on Saturday, October 4th. Don't miss all of the exciting action in historic Annapolis at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. Get your tickets today, NavySports.com. Go Navy, beat Army. Not much to say about the baseball game last evening. Nice to have Max Fried.
It was the nicest weather
Okay.
of the.
All
it
right,
was the
there you go.
nicest weather of the Orioles season.
How about that?
It wasn't swampy hot or too
No.
cold. It was
Had a
perfect.
boog sandwich, turkey sandwich.
And then the baseball game started.
You know, lately I've been putting the coleslaw on my sandwich.
See, I do not care for coleslaw, and I'll never change on this.
Boog's coleslaw is
I'm sure it's
awfully good.
fine. I'm just not a coleslaw person. I've realized that. I think the sandwich is better without the coleslaw than it is with the coleslaw. My mother-in-law will make barbecue sandwiches, like for. She'll host like a lunch, and she'll make barbecue pork
Are
sandwiches.
you invited to those lunches?
I do get invited to these lunches. Sometimes I even put on pants.
Wow.
Sometimes.
You do
Let's
really
not-
care. Oh, okay.
It's not all the time. One year on Thanksgiving, I showed up after I had gone. Because I always work on Thanksgiving. Like, that's the radio bit, is that, like, and I don't mind working on Thanksgiving. Nobody's there.
Right.
Like, you can do half of your show can be, do you like pumpkin pie? Like, I've never minded working on Thanksgiving. So one year I went right from the radio show to the gym, and then from the gym to my mother-in-law's house. Just with her, my wife, our kids, and my parents. And she was offended that I showed up in my gym clothes. I said, what are we doing here? Like, and then I said, maybe we do Thanksgiving at my house moving forward. Maybe that's going to be the way. Focused or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Friday edition of the program. County Sports Zone, countysports.zone is the website for you to find out everything going on in high school sports, whether it's scores, schedules, updates, rankings, polls, anything you need to know, they've got you covered. Countysports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. We had to do this a little bit earlier on because of his schedule. But before we catch up with Roberto Clemente Jr., I want you to know a little bit more about what it is that we're talking to him about. This is a preview of a documentary that's airing on the History Channel next week called Clemente. Then we're going to talk to Roberto Clemente Jr. here on GCR.
Pittsburgh, they call him the Great One.
Number 21, Roberto Clemente.
He was so unmistakable.
Did he know he looked that cool? How did he do that?
Clemente set the bar for Latino players. You cannot only be a good player, you have to be a great person off the field as well.
He wanted to represent not only our people, but every person out there that was suffering injustice.
Hearing Roberto Clemente speak in Spanish, my dad cried. He's speaking to me.
The Pirates in a World Series for the first time in 11 years.
The deck appeared to be stacked once again against the Pirates in '71.
He wanted that World Series, not for him alone, but for his teammates in the city of Pittsburgh.
That's really the signature performance of his career.
He remains this sort of paragon of what the best of us can be.
Clemente, a history documentary event.
Well, I had the chance last night to watch a new documentary, and it's really powerful. It's called Clemente, and as you would imagine, it's all about baseball icon Roberto Clemente. And joining us now this morning here on GCR, the son of Roberto Clemente, and nearly an Oriole once upon a time, he is Roberto Clemente Jr., and he's with us here on GCR. Roberto, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you. Thank you so much for taking the time for us.
Glenn, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Roberto, what a powerful film. I really, as you would imagine, we don't love reliving 1971 in this community. But it's such a beautiful, powerful film. I wonder for you, making this film, I know you were very young when your father passed away. Were there things that you learned about your father in making this film that were special to you?
Really, Glenn, I actually was more confirmation because obviously throughout all these years, I've had so many stories, so many people sharing their stories, and so many are so similar of how he helped them in something. And something was happening, and he was there to help. But yeah, there was more confirmation, but obviously more and more stories that I never heard before, which is always an awesome thing to hear.
One of the things I appreciated most about the film, Roberto, is obviously, as you referred to, your father is known as one of the great humanitarians in the history of sport, and yet, like you saying, right, but Dad wasn't, always the nicest person alive, and telling, the stories of his competitiveness and obviously the Bob Gibson story, I genuinely appreciated maybe a little bit of the humanity you gave him the other way in telling the story.
Well, but I can do that right now to you because this one actually will hit home better.
Okay.
Because there was a time where Book Powell he and Dad got into it, and Dad was only 5'11", so Dad went after Boog, actually. So Dad was actually they got into a scuffle. So Dad wasn't afraid of big guys like Boog, man. He was fiery. Dad was a fiery man.
Do you remember what the story was for that? I'm actually imagining your father. Boog's a brick house.
I know. I listen. I know. It's funny because I remember sitting with Frank and obviously you mentioned 89. I got hurt with the Orioles, actually, when I signed with the Orioles. And, the stories were unbelievable, talking to Frank. And baseball is a fraternity. It doesn't matter what team you play for, but if you play baseball, you're a brother for forever. Being able to play this great game and very fortunate for us to be able to have some guys talk about, my father on this documentary that, were impacted by him as well.
You can find out more by going to Clemente.film about where to watch Clemente and how to go see it in theaters. Roberto Clemente Jr. with us on GCR. Roberto, maybe my favorite story in the entire documentary is the story of the woman whose dad gave your father a ride to the airport when he missed the bus because he was so busy signing autographs. As she projected it, you all had stayed friends over the years, correct?
We are still. Are you kidding me? We speak every week. We talk. I mean, my team was just here. We were just together. We spent a weekend together. We're family. This is the real deal. Dad was actually buying homes in Puerto Rico for her family and for four other families for them to spend time in Puerto Rico in the wintertime with us.
That is so cool, man. That is so cool. Roberto, I wonder how important this was for you. I know, telling your father's story whenever is important, but like my producer watched the documentary last night, and he's not even 30 years old. I acknowledge that, your father had been gone for, over a decade before I was born, and I'm in my 40s. For a generation that maybe doesn't know, that knows the legend of your father and knows Roberto Clemente Day every year and the Roberto Clemente Award, how important was it for you to tell the story of your father for our generation, for people that never were able to see him play?
It is for me very important to make sure that we had a voice as a family in a project such as this one. We've had many documentaries before, but as a family, we were just we were consulted, but they were doing their own thing. This time we're part of the actual production of it, and being able to talk to those kids that are learning about Clemente in 3rd and 7th grade. We're now, even before this release, we are creating a curriculum for middle school age students about Clemente to become, better global citizens and digital citizens. Being able to take care of their own ways and be kind and mindful and so forth. So we're making sure that legacy continues to go beyond just a game of baseball or a sport. This is actually more of being a better human being and utilizing that Clemente vehicle to do so. Our motto is to build a nation of the good the Clemente way, and I think that we're in the right path.
That's wonderful.
With kids that are learning from him.
That's really wonderful, Roberto. I bring up 1971. You were very young at the time. Did you have any personal memories of 1971? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Were you in Baltimore?
I was not happy, Glenn, because they sent me home because I needed to go to school. So I was in Puerto Rico while the series was going, but then we were playing hooky still because we were watching the games in school with the TV. So we had no class when we were watching the games. I remember very well, and the thing for me that is very funny, Glenn, that people may not know is that when my father won the MVP in that series, the league thought, and the sponsors thought that the Orioles were going to win the series.
Well, yeah.
Everyone in the world thought that the Orioles had it in the bag.
420 game winners. Yeah, defending World Series champs.
Can you lose
right.
with 4 game? How can you lose with 420 game winners?
Yeah,
you can't. Well, to tell you the truth, that was in the middle of the whole thing. He wins the MVP. They give him an orange and white vehicle as a trophy. Okay? It was not black and gold. It was actually orange and white.
I love this. Did he keep it?
Yeah. He kept it. It was his favorite car. It was a Dodge Charger. I learned how to drive in that car. All
right. It's not going to make anybody in Baltimore feel better about what happened, but it is a really great story.
It's pretty funny, though.
It's really great. Did you, was signing with the Orioles when you did, were you prepared to avenge us? Was there anything humorous to you about the fact that you ultimately ended up signing with the Orioles? I know it didn't work out for you to become an Oriole, but was there part of you that kind of got a good chuckle out of that knowing what had happened in 71.
Listen, absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Absolutely. And the funny thing is that later on, in life, I would be hanging out with Frank at Cooperstown, and we'd be laughing about it because actually he told me I had a great spring. He had a good spring. We're gonna go out, and then I woke up paralyzed from my waist down the very next day. Anyway, but it was my life has been very, very funny, being involved with the Orioles and with the Yankees as well. The two 1960 and 71 World Series and 79. I was part of the 79 team. I was catching in the bullpen that summer with those guys and felt part of that team. I mean, obviously, it was a very special time to be a Pirate.
I know I need to let you go. My last one for you, Roberto. The fact that so many Puerto Rican players were still involved and that you still see the impact that he continues to have. And I know, as far as Puerto Rico goes, there's no greater icon. But what did it mean to you to have those guys involved in the documentary? And I'm sure still hear stories day in and day out of what your father has meant to some of the greatest players in baseball history.
It is great. That he still is their model, and you know what? We're very proud that he is the for the players of today. Still, he cannot do any wrong. He will forever be young, a 38-year-old man that gave it all that he had to give, and we're still proud of the legacy that he had left us.
And, of course, the Molinas and Francisco Lindor involved in the project. It's incredible. Clemente At film is where you find out more. Roberto Clemente Jr., congratulations to you and your family. It's really a wonderful tribute, and thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us this morning.
Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Great stuff with Roberto Clemente Jr., and that's going to air Tuesday night on the History Channel, so I would really encourage you to check it out. It's wonderful. It really is a wonderful
Good job on that interview.
It was, I didn't know anything about the film until we were reached out to yesterday to see if we were interested in having Roberto on, and Griffin came in this morning and said he watched it last night, too. It's really good. I mean, it is a really, really good documentary.
Just a great, it's just a great history lesson. Like it's
and admittedly, Stan, obviously I never saw Roberto Clemente play baseball because I was born in 1983. I know the legend.
Unfortunately, I saw him
in 71. Yeah, where he was at his best late in his career. But I know the legend of Roberto Clemente, and my father told me many times growing up about how he died on a humanitarian mission and all of those things. But it really gave me more humanity on both sides of Roberto Clemente's story. There's a lot in there about his contentious relationship with the media during his time in Pittsburgh and how kind of openly racist the media was and how dealing with that kind of inspired him to what was the year where he finished like 8th in MVP voting?
1960 or 61?
61, I think it was. He finished 8th in MVP voting, and he
pissed him off.
It was the Michael Jordan thing. He took it personally
because they won the World Series that year, didn't they?
Yeah, and
no, so they won the World Series in '60.
Okay, so it was
60. Yeah, it was 60 then. Maybe it was 60. Really a wonderful documentary. We really encourage everybody. It's very much worth the watch, and appreciate Roberto taking the time.
I met a guy years ago through Ray Schulte. This guy was a glove collector.
Okay,
I mean, and he claimed to me that Clemente's last game, he tossed him. He knew Denny. His name was Denny Eskin.
Okay.
And he was from Pittsburgh, and he gave him his last glove when he walked off the field.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's probably quite valuable.
Yeah.
I would assume. I clearly wasn't around for 71. I know more 79 stories than I know 71 stories because more people in my life were of the age in 79.
How old were you in 71? Like 4?
Yeah, no.
You weren't even born yet.
I wasn't born till 83.
83.
83 is when I was born.
Yeah, but you look like you were around.
It doesn't seem great.
Yeah, you look like
That doesn't seem great.
Aren't we contemporaries?
Oh, boy. Well, no, Stan, to be fair.
Yeah.
No one can be contemporaries with you, my friend.
That's right.
That's not the case. Hey, today's show is brought to you by Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, Frederick, and Columbia. Men of a certain age.
Yeah, which is why you've been looking a little bit better, actually, now that I think about it.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, it must be
Yeah, that's the peptide proteins.
Yeah,
They have been
probably.
very beneficial to me. If you are not familiar with Game Day Men's Health, one, I guess that's just because you haven't been listening, but two, what they do is they help men of a certain age whenever they're dealing with whatever it is they're dealing with. And it's different for everybody. For some men, you reach a certain age, you just start feeling sluggish and run down. That's what I was feeling in particular. And so they said, maybe you're low T. I got tested, complementary testosterone test. Turns out not low T at all. But I was still feeling it. So they said, let's talk about peptide proteins. And they've done wonders for me in just kind of reinvigorating me, getting that pep back in my step. And I wake up in the morning, I don't have to go through the whole production. Maybe you're dealing with performance issues in the bedroom. Maybe you're dealing with stubborn belly fat that just won't come off. John Colson, how many pounds have you lost? Oh, he's not. 14 pounds John Colson has lost as he's been going through it. Give them a call, 443-264-4454 for Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills. 443-266-3505 for Game Day Men's Health in Columbia, and 240-931-3717 for Game Day Men's Health in Frederick. And, of course, GameDayMen'sHealth.com is where you can find out more as well. I guess Mike McDaniel saved his job last night as the Dolphins were at least competitive against the Buffalo Bills.
So what do you owe me?
Nothing at all. We didn't make a bet. But the Dolphins do indeed fall to 0-3, and the Bills fall to improve to 3-0, which is problematic because, as we pointed out yesterday, their schedule does not have a lot of tricky games on it for the Ravens to try to overtake them to get the number 1 seed in the AFC. They're going to need some good luck. And for a minute last night, the Dolphins tie game. They got the ball back. You're like, maybe.
Oh, and our old friends.
Well, actually, it was twofold. I didn't get the ball back because Zach Sealer, of course, with the penalty.
Well, yeah,
and then
they later.
Right, and then they get back. They're still only down by a score, and then Tua throws the pick. And that's that as they lose 31-21. Speaking of the Ravens, there's some changes at M&T Bank Stadium this year. You might have seen them during the home opener. You might have already checked out some of these new spaces. But with the new spaces come new opportunities in those events. And Relentless Events is a newly launched year-round private events arm of the Baltimore Ravens. Joining us now to tell us a little bit more about it, he is Senior VP for the Baltimore Ravens. I'll let him give us his entire title because I would just butcher it.
You would butcher it.
I'm butchering saying the word butcher. Joining us now, Rich Tamayo is with us here on GCR. Rich.
Thank you, and I'll try not to butcher it.
Thank you. Don't butcher it, please.
Senior Vice President, Stadium Operations and Guest Experience with the Ravens. So
Thank you.
It's a little bit of a mouthful, but
yeah,
I got it right.
Rich, I think a lot of people got to see some of these new spaces. Tell me about how the addition of these new spaces at the stadium has led to a new arm for the Baltimore Ravens and a new way that our community can be involved with M&T Bank Stadium.
That's a great question. So as you know, M&T Bank Stadium is, one of the best stadiums in the league. So we had some great opportunity for outside events to come in, so guests can enjoy it and have that same game day energy. What these new spaces do gives us an opportunity to kind of have multiple events maybe in the same day, right? So again, we're trying to push that Ravens energy, that game day energy that guests know and love to any event that you're able to book at the stadium, right? So if you have a big conference that you can use our current club level, but then have an opening and closing ceremony, you can do that in one of those new spaces, and it will feel like two different kind of areas for you.
That's interesting. I feel like I guess I did not realize truly how big these spaces were. Like when I see that there's room for 4,000, 5,000, maybe even 8,000 guests.
Yep.
I mean these are really game changers.
Yeah, so one of those spaces you're referring to, we renovated our current club level last year, and that's one of our bigger spaces that can hold up to 8,000 between the north and the south on the south side. So we've seen all different types of events. If a big company has kind of a holiday party, they'll use that entire area and invite 8,000 of their closest friends. And we really just knock that service and the food out the park with something like that.
That's incredible.
Now, these events, Rich, are really, they're not game day events, are they?
No, so we're with Relentless. Relentless really runs that non-game day event business. Yeah, they're newly created so that we can share the game day excitement on a non-game day. So you could have your wedding at M&T Bank Stadium and still get that feel and that energy that we're able to provide our guests on Sundays.
Where did the initiative come for this? In other words, did you sort of intuitively understand that there was a demand for this kind of venue opportunity?
Yeah, so I think it's just looking at the market that we have here in Baltimore, and there's some great places to have events, but we realize that at the stadium we have things that we check off all the boxes. We have the parking, right? We have the entry, the secure entry for anybody coming into an event, and then we have the unique different spaces, some larger and some more intimate that a guest can really enjoy. So it was more of like, hey, here's what the market is, and let's go ahead and see if we can fulfill all and be a one-stop shop for anybody coming to an event space in Baltimore.
Rich, I feel like the question that a lot of people would have is, are these just like events for corporations? Or I'm sure you feel it every year. I get my fantasy football league asks me every year, is this the year that we do the fantasy football event at the stadium and we go experience it? And people would ask, could these just be for me, for my private events? They have to be major corporate events, or could they be, I want to throw a party and I want to do it at M&T Bank Stadium?
No, it could definitely be that, right? So yes, there's that corporate element to it, but really it's for anybody. I mean, we want to take the event and we want to make sure that it's for what that guest wants, and that guest could be as little as 15 people throwing a party here at the stadium, right? So it could be an intimate setting in that case, and we also want to be good community partners, right? So we don't want to make it think like it's just for the biggest no, it's really for anyone who wants to have the electric experience that we have on Sundays on an event day.
Rich, I've got to ask you a little off-the-wall question. Glenn Clark every year has a party at his house.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
where he roasts a pig. Would you allow that party
right on
the
field?
Right on the
field.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring out the pig. Yeah.
So I'm gonna botch this answer, just or whatever you said. So I don't.
Yeah, butch it. You're gonna butch the answer. Yes.
Yeah, butch it. Yeah. I'm gonna butch the answer. So how about this? We'll talk about how we can make that work as close to that party you have every year. Instead of letting you roast the pig on the middle.
That's
of our
probably the right decision.
Yeah.
That's probably.
Mean you'll serve pork at his party.
Yeah,
correct.
Right.
We'll do that. Maybe someone will dress up as I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Rich, when someone's thinking about throwing an event, like is it just the space, or are there other ways that they can involve their love of the Ravens? Is there opportunity for former players to stop by? Is there opportunity for, I think I already saw you could do maybe tours of the locker room perhaps as part of an event that you host at the stadium?
So look, we want to be as all-inclusive as possible, and we want to tailor those events to the need of whoever the client is, right? So if there's a conversation around what you'd like in your event, we're going to do our best to fulfill it. Right. So, and whether it's tours, whether it is trying to reach out and discuss anything with any of the legends and some of the great sports figures here in Baltimore, we want to work with you to make sure you have the event that you want. Right. So that's really what it's like. We don't know about it until you tell us what you want, and then we can figure out how to fill that in.
It's great.
So let me ask you, Rich, so far since you've started Relentless Events, have you sort of exceeded what you expected? In other words, what are you finding when you take the temperature out there? Is there really a big demand for this?
There is, and I think we are, we're starting to exceed what we expected. We had a launch party recently, and the feedback from that launch party, we were able to show off the spaces and tour off the spaces. The feedback from that party was very much like, we're picking up the phone tomorrow and calling to see how we can have an event at M&T Bank Stadium. So we have Kimone, who's the director of Relentless Events, and she's phenomenal. She has ties in Baltimore, and she's been doing events here for years, and that gives me the confidence that we're really gonna not just hit our goals, but really exceed our goals in the future.
I love everything about that. Relentlessevents.com is the website. And again, what your message is, just reach out. Just reach out. Tell us what you have in mind, and we're going to see how we can't make it work for you.
Yeah, exactly. Except for roasting a pig on the field.
Again,
Except for that.
I think that's going to. Now, I also, as part of that party,
Rich, let me interrupt you.
Yeah.
He's got too many friends that come to that party. It would exceed 8,000.
I don't know,
okay.
man.
Oh, is that what it is?
I don't know if that's the case. I think the real problem is we also set up a giant slip and slide, and we play flip cup at the bottom of it. And I just don't know that that's going to work on the field at M&T Bank
Especially in the
Stadium.
kicking area, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that would probably be problematic.
Hey, we'll talk about it. We'll try and tailor it to what
Figure
you
out
need.
a way. Figure
We'll
out a way. Rich, does this walk hand in hand with the idea of there being more events in general? Like I'll tell you, I've heard rumblings around town that maybe there's like an ability to do other types of like concerts at the stadium, not just like the big Jay-Z Beyonce concerts there, things along those lines. We saw like my son is still enamored with that ice festival that you guys did last year. Like, is there still the opportunity to have more events that the entire community could be touching at the stadium?
Absolutely, right, and that's both the Relentless side and the Ravens side.
Yeah,
right. We want to be good stewards of the community. The more we're able to bring in, the better it is, obviously, for commerce, but it's also the better it is for the feeling around the stadium, it being a destination. Right, that's what we're looking for, is to make sure that M&T Bank Stadium is not just something you, on a non-game day, you try to tour through. It's something that you're coming and saying, wow, there's these events that I could plan around.
Real quick, last thing for you. We had a cover story on Ray Lewis about 15 years ago in Press Box, and the headline was Relentless. How did you come up with the term relentless events?
Ooh, that's a good question. So it's exactly what we are.
Yeah.
We're relentless in the pursuit of making sure that guests can enjoy the stadium on a non-game day and have any event that they'd like within reason.
Well, again, as long as they're not doing the pig right there, as long as we're not digging the hole in the field in order to put the pig in the ground. Rich Tamayo, Senior Vice President, Stadium Operations and Guest Experience.
I
didn't butch it. Look at that. Look at that. Relentlessevents.com is the website. Rich, thank you for taking the time for us this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Speaking of year-round or day-to-day at the stadium, I saw today the Ravens officially opened the new store that they're going to have. This is something that I had talked about before. That
Relentless store?
I don't believe it's called the Relentless. I don't know exactly what it is called. Hang on a second. Ravens Team Store. But it will be open every day, so that if you just happen to be downtown or someone who's maybe in town for business or something like that, can go to the stadium, and there is a touch at the stadium now on a day-to-day basis. So that the Flock Shop is what they're calling it. Just opened today and will be open every day.
You hear that, John Colson? The Flock Shop.
What are you trying to?
Well, we have that T-shirt.
Oh, right, yeah.
Flock yeah.
We'll be giving away some more of those here in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
All right, today's show also brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, the best place for
What did you lapse into a little Roberto Clemente voice?
I like saying it that way sometimes. I like saying it that way sometimes. For every football game day, like, for example, this Sunday, no Ravens games, so just an opportunity to hang out, watch all the games inside Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Right there at Arundel Mills, never a better place to be than Live Casino and Hotel. Well, everybody knows our next guest is one of my favorites, not just as a broadcaster, but as a human being. And this Monday night, he will be in Baltimore, and he will be calling Ravens-Lions for Westwood One. It is a pleasure, as always, to welcome back into the program the great Kevin Harlan, who is with us now here on GCR. Kevin, it's Glenn, and Stan the Fan Charles is in studio with me on a Friday. It's always a thrill, sir. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Great to be on with you, Glenn. Stan, thanks for having me. Excited to come to Baltimore on Monday for it's been a while since we've had a Monday night game there, but man, every time I lay my eyes on Lamar, I get going. I think anybody that covers this game of the NFL, speaking generally, broad picture, relishes the chance to see great play, like transcendent players. And to me, that's what Lamar is. He's off to a terrific start. Team is playing well, and I can't wait to get there against a quality Detroit team, which is trying to come back from losing 2 coordinators, and that is a very difficult thing to do in the NFL.
Well, Kevin, as you know, we have petitioned the league to demand that you call every Lamar Jackson game. And we always assume that when you're doing a Lamar Jackson game, something magic will happen so that we can get a Kevin Harlan call for it. I needed to talk to you about the thing that you had last week because I was captivated by it. As a broadcaster, calling what you see in front of you, and then the hang on part of it when you see a flag down. I love the fact that it's just general reaction. Like you're not worried about, did I get something wrong? I didn't get it wrong. I called what I saw in front of me, and then what I saw in front of me, as it turns out, was something entirely because there was a penalty on the field.
And you don't see that leverage call very often. And you're referring to the Broncos and Colts from last week, where a 60-yard attempt was clearly no good. Looked like the Broncos had held on. A flag was thrown after a quick discussion on the field, and sheepishly thrown, I should say as well, because they're going to call a play leverage. It's like holding on an offensive line, right? There's holding on every play. There's holding in every secondary. And there's probably some form of leverage in every kick. And the fact that it was not blocked and was so bad and a miss, and then a 15-yard penalty on top of it, do you consider those things in the call? No. I've always been told that on long pass plays, clearly look back to see if there's a flag thrown, because that happens far more frequently than a flag on a kick and leverage on a call like that. You can spot offsides. You can see movement. And you know that even if the kick is up or good or not good, you've got kind of on a leverage call, it takes, and here's what I think happened. I don't know this. I'm guessing. These coaches are just brilliant in their tape study. And a lot of times they will give a flare. They'll give a heads up official.
Yeah.
This team loves to vault. This team loves to leverage. This team loves to hold, whatever it is. These coaches are constantly in the ear of these officials on the sideline, giving them, be alert on, watch this. They've been doing it all day. They could do it here. And sure enough, I think there may have been some possible strategy in that by the Colts to get that re-kicked. And sure enough, we saw what we saw, a dramatic close to a good game. It was a really enjoyable game.
Kevin, speaking of film study, I imagine you've done some film study yourself of the Lions. How are they looking moving on from the Ben Johnson era? And in a way, given where they are, was the loss to the Packers sort of a blessing in disguise in a way?
I think so, Stan. You lose 2 coordinators, and you can't help but feel that void. And I think that they've gone through camp, off-season and camp, dealing with that. So they're well into that story.
Yep.
But until you play games and you got the heat of the game, the heat of the moment, you really don't know. And I think that's what Green Bay, as you're referring to, the Green Bay loss did. It kind of woke them up a little bit. And the one thing Dan Campbell, the Lions coach, is good at is getting everybody on the same page and getting them mentally right.
Yeah.
And they showed it in week 2 with 52 points, right? I mean, they came out and they blasted the Bears and had the kind of game that they know they can have. They've lost a couple on the line. You're never the same team from one year to the next. They're still trying to prove them. They've got a target on their back because of what they've done the last couple years. Teams take them differently. They approach them differently because they're now one of the elite teams in pro football. So you're dealing with all these things now that you've got to contend with. New faces on your line and on defense. And your coordinator's gone. target on your back, and you're the favorite in the division. So the Packers were juiced. I mean, they were ready to go and gave them that loss on opening weekend. Lions, I think, showed their true colors, what they did last week with the 52 points.
Yeah.
And now we're going to get a challenge like they, this is about as big a challenge as they could possibly get this early on the road at night against that quarterback and that Raven defense. I mean, it's going to be everything they can handle. And I think it could turn out to be one of the great games of this early season.
Kevin Harlan is with us. He'll, of course, be on the call for Westwood One on Monday night. Kevin, one of the themes that I have on this show is anomaly versus accomplishment, right? Like, we'll see all these numbers, and I try to figure out, is that really an accomplishment or is it an anomaly? And one of the big storylines that I have no doubt you guys will be diving into, you and Kurt, on Monday, will be Lamar Jackson's record against the NFC, which sits at 24-2. Now, to be fair, the last time an NFC team came
That's
to Baltimore,
pretty good, isn't it?
It's pretty good, right? Now, the last time an NFC team came to Baltimore was the 2, right? Like, that was the Eagles last season. But I guess the question is, how predictive? Like, do we treat that? I feel like around here we treat it as, well, it has to mean something. There has to be value in that number. We have to know that, like, the theories that the teams don't see Lamar quite as much, they're just not as prepared when they see him. There has to be value in it, but I'll pose it to you. What do you make of anomaly versus accomplishment, and how predictive it is that Lamar Jackson's 24-2 against the NFC?
Well, I like, Stan, you laugh at that number, right? I mean, like, it's unfathomable, but he is one of one. There are many quarterbacks that have the same kind of basic feel to their play, drop back in the pocket, maybe a little maneuverability. But Jackson is as feared a quarterback as you'll find in all of pro football. And I was just talking to Kurt Warner about this the other day. I said, you know what I want to see? I want to see a guy that's won so much personal accolade like Lamar has. And I'd love to see him in a Super Bowl on a big stage, because it's like I just and Kurt, so me too, and Kurt always is kind of a contrarian and saying, yeah, but you got to earn it, no, he said, me too. He said the game deserves to see him on that kind of platform. And we know we have interconference games, and we've got one coming up on Monday night. But when you don't see it on a regular basis, as the division foes do in the North, and the greater AFC, and you're an NFC team trying to deal with this, I can't think of a more difficult defensive coordinator proposition than trying to beat him. I just even, and Mahomes has got a very special set of skills, and we know Allen does, but Lamar just, I don't know, man. I put him at the top. I just think the guy just possesses so much, and now with no picks through the first couple of weeks, and he just, I mean, I think we've all realized that he has grown, at least from afar, exponentially every year in some form. Like, he's never in the headlines. He's all football. He's all team. He drinks up the coaching. Like, he's got all these wonderful things. He checks all these boxes. And remember when he came in, and they were using him as a gadget guy, which I just kind of shake my head at, and where that journey from then to now has taken him, and just what he's done. So you bring up the 24-2, and it's just I do, but there's nothing like him in the NFC. I mean I'm sure I'm missing somebody here, but maybe Kyler Murray at Arizona, because he can run, but he's not the presence guy that Lamar is.
Jaden Daniels is the one that everybody's starting to compare.
Yeah. I listen. I'm gonna just stick with what I've seen with this guy, and just the coaching he gets, not just from the coordinator, but the way John gets him ready every week. I'm telling you, I just think this is he's about. I guess my point is, he's about as difficult a quarterback, and I'm putting Mahomes in that category, and Allen, and any of the. He's as difficult a guy to prepare for as any single player at any position in this league, and I think that's what makes him 24-2, for instance.
I have one question for you, but before I do that, just the way I gamble, I've been a do theory bettor, so I've been betting against Lamar
against
the NFC.
Oh boy,
about 20 straight games.
And it finally paid off against the Eagles.
Yeah,
You finally hit one,
and I kept increasing my bets. Yeah,
boy.
Hey, Kevin, I know Glenn knows Kurt Warner very, very well. For those of us that don't, tell us a little bit about what it's like working with him on your broadcast.
Well, I've had the distinct honor, Stan, of working with two guys that work as hard at broadcasting as they did as players. And I think it came from the same kind of basic background. I'm speaking of Rich Gannon and Kurt.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Rich made one Super Bowl. He did win an MVP. We know Kurt's multiple appearances in the big game, his MVPs, and his position in the Hall of Fame. Both began with kind of quiet beginnings, but as their careers evolved, they ascended, and they realized somewhere along that journey that you've got to outwork everybody, whether it was physically or mentally. And that's where both of these guys, to me, are the same. And I always thought that Rich, who had other analysts at CBS and other networks call him during the week asking his opinion on what he had seen in tape study that week and around the league, because Rich prided himself on watching every game as much as he could, getting ready for the game we were going to broadcast. So Kurt Warner used to, Stan, do his NFL Network pregame show, fly back home to Phoenix, and then take a red eye in the last flight out of Phoenix to our Monday night game and travel all night long to get to wherever we were going to broadcast. And it was exhausting. But he did it because he had kids at home. He was helping coach his son's team in high school. And so he kind of constructed himself like that. And amongst all those different things, watching every snap of every game. Now, because they're empty nesters, he goes and watches his son play on Saturday at Fresno State. He flies into LA Saturday night. He does his pre-prep for the Sunday morning show on NFL Network. And now he goes right to LAX, and now he flies to our broadcast part. So he has got feet on the ground every early evening, late afternoon for our Monday night location. So he'll be in Baltimore by 6, 7 o'clock on Sunday night. And what he's been doing is watching as many games live as he can. And he has this notebook that he carries with him. And he sits there and puts meticulous notes on everything he sees, not just quarterbacks, but everything. So that when he is asked, to on our Monday night broadcast to talk league-wide, there's not a better, more informed person to listen to, culminating the Sunday games of yesterday and the Sunday night game than Kurt, because he's watched every snap of every game every single week. And these notes he takes, and I watch him do it. So we get to the broadcast booth 3.5 to 4 hours before kickoff on Monday. He has his laptop, and we're driving over, and he's watching. And then we get in the booth, and he's watching again. And he works harder than about anybody I've ever been around in any sport. And it is a honor to be with him on Monday nights. A long answer to a great question, but people don't see what he puts into it. And I will tell you that not every analyst is like that. And most of them aren't even close. They'll do their game, and then that's all they'll do. He does the entire league because he's got 2 national broadcasts on Sunday morning and on Monday night. And he takes great pride in having an answer for anything that could be thrown his way or question or any kind of analysis needed to talk about any team at any stage of the season.
So is he, during his broadcast, is he watching film?
Other games during the commercials?
You would think so.
Yeah,
no,
right.
unlike Boomer, who would watch Ranger games, he would watch New York Ranger games because he loves hockey. And so sometimes I'd be calling a game on Monday night, and here comes Lamar Jackson with the 1st and 10, and I'd hear this slam of a fist. I'd go, what? And I look, and someone scored on the Rangers. So it was I always had to kind of get my wits about me that sometimes, but he was so talented, Boomer was, and he was much like Kurt and Rich. He watched all the highlights. He knew all the stories, and he had a big opinion on everything. And that was his great mark. He had a big opinion, pro or con, on any player and any team. But he could do two things at once. He could watch his beloved Rangers and the NHL broadcast on his iPad, and he could watch the game in front of him and comment succinctly and accurately.
Kevin, it's my goal to not keep you 30 minutes as I've done many times in our history together. So I do want to knock out a couple things if I could. One, I know it would come up if for some reason you get to the fourth quarter on Monday night and the Ravens are up by 2 scores. You guys are going to have to bring it up, right? And we saw it again in week 1 and what happened against the Bills. There's been a bit of a history, and I know the reverence, you've already referenced it. I know the reverence you have for John Harbaugh, and you know that I think the world of John Harbaugh. But what do you make of why these things might keep happening for the Ravens and how it might impact them should they be in that position again on Monday night?
Well, I just think it puts them in a position to handle it better. I just think everything you've gone through, and it's funny, this week I've got I'm in LA on Sunday for CBS with Broncos Chargers. So I've been talking to Jim all week, and here I've got John, and I think I've told you this, Glenn, and Stan, you may not know, my brother is John's agent. So, like, I'm so connected, and then I know Tom Crean from basketball, who's married to a Harbaugh sister.
Yep,
so, like, I know this family so well, and I just know how they approach things like this, and I just think they are lesson, learn, improve the next time, build your callus by going through tough situations and make it better the next time. So until you prove it, you don't know if you're able to have that answer, right? And so that constantly becomes something that will come up. But I just think that both the Harbaughs, and not saying because I've got them back-to-back nights, one in the West Coast and then one on the East Coast, but I do think that they represent the best part of this league in terms of preparing their team, getting them all on the same page and ready for any situation. And the league is so good and so adept at jumping on situations, knowing there's a vulnerability, knowing there's a history, but the Harbaughs, John in this case, they know it well too, and Lamar knows it. And so I guess you just say, you learn from your past and you hope you make it better in the future. And I know that's how they enter all those kinds of situations.
And then you bring up that game you're doing on Sunday, and I'm angry it's not the big one that everybody's going to get in the country, but I will be red zoning on Sunday to spend more time with you.
I think you guys do get it in Baltimore, actually.
Oh, do we?
I think
okay. That would be great news.
It's like a weird...
you're right. I just saw that. You're absolutely right. That's like the one random
I think
market.
it's kind of a weird map,
yeah,
like we're the late game, and so you probably will get that game.
That's wonderful news. I like that a lot. You've done so many Chiefs games, and I can't do it. I cannot count the Chiefs out. I still think they're the favorites to win the division, but I get it. I was high on the Broncos coming in, and to your point, there's nothing not to like about what you've seen from the Chargers so far. Do you start to buy that the Chiefs may be vulnerable in the AFC West at this point?
Well, it's never been harder, I think, and you got to win your division, right, Glenn? And it always begins every camp. Well, our main concerns are division, and then everything from that point will take care of itself. But there may be kind of cannibalizing in that division. And I don't know that you're going to see a big win total because you got to play them twice. And you can see a lot of splits. Even the Raiders are more difficult. And it may not show quite yet, but the culture has changed with Pete Carroll. But clearly in Los Angeles, and just watching their last 2 games as I have this week and getting ready for Sunday, Herbert looks different and better. I think they feel better about their ground game. It's not quite where they want it, but they feel better about it. They've got, I think, a real nice complement and a young emerging wide receiver coupled with Keenan Allen, the veteran who's now back with the Chargers after being in Chicago with the Bears. I think their line is better. They handled a big loss at left tackle by moving the right tackle over this Alt, who's going to be a perennial all-pro guy. And you know all about great tackles in your city. So I'm confident the Chargers are what we think they are. And I think that Denver is so well coached. They've got the right voice. I'm very impressed with Bo Nix. they're trying to get their running game up because that's the quarterback's best friend, right? Is a good run game. And they've got weapons at receiver, emerging guys there. They've got a first-class defense. They brought in 2 San Francisco defenders, and Hufanga in the back end, who's been terrific, and then Dre Greenlaw, who's been injured with a quad and has not played in the first couple games, and they've already ruled him out for this Sunday. But he helps in their pass coverage in the middle there on the second level, which they need. But Denver is all we think they are. They're going to be terrific, and they are good, So I think it's one of the best. I'm a little bit biased here. I think I've been lucky to get maybe the 2 best games this weekend in Denver and the Chargers, and then a game in your backyard in Baltimore against the Lions. I cannot wait for Monday night. I got to be honest. I think Goff is going to let it fly. I think Lamar is going to play like he's played. I mean, the 2 terrific coaches, proud teams that easily could see each other in San Francisco or Santa Clara in February. I mean, this game has all the markings of a preview of what we could see in Super Bowl 60.
You travel on multiple coasts. It would be super easy for you to say, I don't have time to do this, Kevin Harlan. I tell you every time, I hope you know, I never take for granted that you always go out of your way to make time for us. And it truly means the world to me, brother. I love you. Appreciate you. Can't wait to see you in Baltimore on Monday. Thank you, as always, for doing this.
Thank you. And can I just say one quick thing? I'm on a lot of these shows, and I always look forward to when Griffin gets a hold of me. You ask, and now you've added Stan. So I think it's the first time I've been out with him. So you guys ask great questions. You clearly know you're into it, and it makes such a difference. And it's not the same kind of question and angle. It's always, something that makes you think. And I love that. And it is an honor to be on with you whenever we do a Baltimore game. And I hope we've got many more in us as the season unfolds.
Keep giving you that honor.
Yeah, we hope there's a million of them. Kevin Harlan, thank you, brother.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Stan. Thank you, Griffin. Thank you guys so much.
The great Kevin Harlan with us here on GCR.
What a class act.
Dude, he's the best. Yeah. God, he's the best. I have no idea. And it's
glad I introduced you to him.
Is that how it worked? Is this like the you taught who did we start the show telling you taught him how to play Robert Redford? You taught Robert Redford how to play baseball? Yeah. I have no idea why Kevin Harlan has been as kind over the years as he has, but I love Kevin Harlan. I've said it a million times. I wish he did every Ravens game all season long because he is the gold standard of what we do, and appreciate him taking the time for us. Stan, you're going to be back in action on Monday?
I'll be on back in action Monday with Mr. B.J. Surhoff.
Yes. Yeah. Talking baseball, talking Pathfinders for Autism.
Yep.
That'll be Monday at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Facebook.com/
Ross Grimsley and BJ.
So you'll have men of great accomplishment all throughout. You think about all the things: B.J. Surhoff, All-Stars, Ross Grimsley, 20-game winner, Stan the Fan, taught Robert Redford how to play baseball. Just think about
very simple.
That combination of accomplishments. That'll be on Monday at 5 o'clock. Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. And as always, Stan's show is brought to you by the Costas Inn.
Always the Costas Inn. With 2 great locations. Yep.
Now open in Timonium.
And North Point Boulevard.
Of course, the OG, where you can still get steamed crabs. And as we always say, this is the dirty secret. This is the best time to get crabs. September, October. That's the dirty secret. Best time to get crabs all year long. Come back in, get a tidbit and tubular to wind things down for a Friday edition of GCR. Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafalo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1975. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Looking for Baltimore's premier waterfront dining experience? Head to Nick's Fish House, located in the Baltimore Peninsula. Enjoy crabs all year long, plus happy hour Monday through Thursday from 3 to 6. Planning a celebration? From rehearsal dinners to corporate crab feasts, Nick's is the spot to make it unforgettable. And the fun doesn't stop there. Live music fills the air every Thursday through Sunday. Check out the full lineup at nicksfishhouse.com. Nick's, it's where Baltimore comes to eat, drink, and play by the water.
Game day gets even better at Live Casino. Score a live jersey on September 6th and bucket hat on September 27th. Plus, catch our big plays, big pays hot seats on select game days. When the home team scores, the prize pool doubles. And we'll give away a $50 sports and social gift card with every touchdown. Take it to the end zone at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
You know, College Game Day is at Miami this week for their game. Their huge showdown against woeful Florida.
Who?
Yeah. Did you see who the Game Day guest picker is this week?
I did not.
Of course, you're talking about Miami football. Obviously, you have
Pitbull.
Kurt Warner.
Well, I don't know what he would have to do with Miami football. I don't know where that would be.
Ray Lewis?
Yeah, you have lots of options,
Ed
right?
Reed.
Ed
Yeah,
Reed.
there's a litany of Miami legends that could be the choice. Matthew Tkachuk.
Oh, Matty Tkachuk.
I mean, I get it. They've won the Stanley Cup the last couple of years, and I maybe they've turned Miami into a hockey town, and so maybe everybody's rabid about hockey down there, but I don't know what the connection is for Miami and the U, but Matthew Tkachuk.
They play in Sunrise.
Yeah.
Which I guess is near.
It's near.
Miami.
Yeah, it's correct.
It's like 30 miles from Miami.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's the choice. That'll be the guest picker. Stan, before we do tidbit, I brought this up earlier in the week. Is it at all odd to you that the reports about Mike Elias' promotion come out last week and kind of radio silence from the Orioles about it?
The whole thing is really...
Yeah, again, the original promotion, the timeline is weird to begin with. But now it's out.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows about it. Is it stranger to you that they haven't...
I mean, maybe they're trying to wrap up the GM so they can announce it all at once. I don't know. I find the whole thing really insulting to the fan base.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just weird.
I mean, they've essentially known that the guy's the president, and I'm guessing they gave him a 3 to 5 year contract, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Presumably, yeah.
Presumably.
That would
I mean,
seem to make some sense.
I don't think you announce a guy, you think enough of him to make him the president of a baseball operation.
Right.
And it's a 1 year extension. Maybe it is. But the whole thing, they've allowed us to debate, the fan base to debate on talk radio and at cocktail parties whether Elias is going to be the guy moving forward when they've known he's the guy that's going to be running baseball ops.
Unless for some reason they're still hashing out what the front office is going to look like and whose role is going to be what, and that's I don't know. It's just weird.
Maybe they're planning to hire somebody above him.
Like right. You have
like the super president.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like the king.
The Grand Poobah. The Grand Poobah of baseball operations.
King of the Orioles.
King. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Trump, I think, wants
that job.
I'm
sure he would take it. All right, let's get a tidbit. Tidbit is brought to you today by Project Game Day, which will be back on Monday after Ravens-Lions. You can come hang out with us, facebook.com/PressBoxSports, youtube.com/PressBoxOnline, or just PressBoxOnline.com/GameDay. Myself, Rita, maybe KZ, because we know the holiday starts at sundown on Monday. Stetka and special guest, former Ravens linebacker Tyus Bowser, once again with us on Monday night. So come hang out with us for Project Game Day, every game day all season long. It's all brought to you by Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, Frederick, and Columbia, the Costas Inn, 1-800-GAMBLER, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, and Live Casino and Hotel.
The Orioles. Actually, no, sorry. Before I get to the Orioles, did you see the Reds got a win over the Cubs last night? Hunter Green, a complete game one hit shutout.
Are you still allowed to do complete game one hitters?
Apparently,
I thought they got rid of those.
Uber impressive with Hunter Green because he's the guy that throws 100 miles an hour for the starter for the Reds that throws 100 miles an hour. He's the first pitcher to ever average 100 miles per hour on his ninth inning fastballs. First starter, I should say. Sorry,
that's
first
pretty
starter.
good.
Yeah. Because obviously, no starters ever pitched into the ninth inning, and at least in the pitch
after
speed,
I saw
tracking.
Kevin Brown and Jeff Arnold throw the other day, those guys might be able to.
On his 107th pitch, he threw 102.
I'll be the one to say it. None of that should count if you don't throw it in the strike zone.
Okay.
I'll be the one to say. I'll be the one.
Who had?
Somebody needs
did
to say
Brett
it.
have the best one?
I don't know where they all. All I know is the pitches that Jeff threw
were even close.
Nowhere close.
Yeah.
Those
skip one in.
They don't count as pitches at that point. Like to say, well, he won. No, man.
You said it.
I'll be the one to say it. If Jeff's right here, I'll tell it to his face. They shouldn't count unless you throw them in the strike zone. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not sure if it's a record, but however, Anthony Santander is rehabbing with AAA the Blue Jays right now.
Griffin is obsessed with it. I get it. It's comical.
And I think he hit his first home run during since he came back here. And I just want to make sure I get it on the screen for everybody to enjoy here.
Yeah, he took his time.
Looks like he lost
over
weight.
40 seconds. Over 40 seconds.
He was in no rush
on the home run trot for Anthony Santander. So we'll just sit here and wait
while watching the. It's it's objectively hilarious. He's not even really walking.
Yeah, you can walk faster.
100% you can walk faster than this.
Buffalo buys it.
What was his injury again?
Something in his back, an oblique. But yeah, it took a while. I mean, he was obviously struggling.
He's savoring the moment.
I guess that's what it is.
Yeah. There he goes. He's around third.
Boy, he'll get there eventually, won't he?
Yeah,
he'll get there.
I've seen national anthem singers
100% you have. By the way, they've got a great anthem singer for the Ravens game on Monday night. I hope they put it on the broadcast. Samantha Polino, who did the anthem before the home playoff game last year, she's part of she's part of the cast of The Great Gatsby, famously that the Orioles went and saw before clinching their wild card berth. Remember, Colton Cowser got drunk and was going on about the third understudy. The third understudy was another actress in The Great Gatsby, but Samantha, who's a lifelong, she's from, I believe, Harford County, lifelong Orioles and Ravens fan, was like freaking out about the fact that Colton Cowser was talking about The Great Gatsby. And
does she know he strikes out at like 40%?
He does strike out a good bit, doesn't he? Although, what is the 1 week he had like 3 walks, right?
Yeah, but he also struck out like 12
Yeah, but for
times.
Colton Cowser, 3 walks is like 20 for somebody else. So that was an
Imagine if we
accomplishment.
had Lenine Sosa and we were watching him every night.
Oh, my God.
His strikeout to walk ratio of
All right,
20 to 20.
What else you got?
The Orioles they lost their 81st game of the season last night, so they ensured that they will not be above 500.
But they
can
still
get
can
to
be 500.
They still can.
They
but
win out.
They
They
won't be
won't.
over.
They won't. They won't.
Since 2000, there have been the Orioles. This will be the Orioles' 19th season, which they finished 500 or worse. There are only 3 other clubs that have more losing seasons since 2000.
Rockies.
Rockies are one of them. 20 losing seasons.
The White Sox.
Not the White Sox.
Not the White Sox. Kansas City Royals.
The Royals, 21.
Pirates.
And Pirates.
And the Pirates, 22 losing seasons since 2000 for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I guess the Royals could join them. They could still finish over 500. They're like fluttering around 500 right now. With a week and a half to go.
Found this from Matt Wyrick of the Baltimore Sun. In the last 15 years, there have been 6 Orioles players to collect 20 or more RBI in their first 40 career games. By the way, where are you on the RBI versus RBIs debate?
I'm still in RBIs.
You're still RBIs?
Yeah, I'm still RBIs.
I think I told you I went to a concert with my buddy Alan McCallum last week.
Yeah.
And Alan and I think, spent 10 minutes on this topic in between bands.
RBI.
We
In
had
fact,
a
the first guy I've ever heard that brought the topic up was Fred Manfred.
Was it?
Yeah, he called him RBI.
And he might have been the one that sold me on it. I'm an RBI man. I understand the argument for RBI exists as its own identity, and therefore it can be plural RBIs. I certainly understand the argument.
Right.
But Fred Manfred's point was always well taken, which is we've already got it in there. It's already plural. It's runs batted in. So I've always been an RBI man. But I acknowledge that I don't feel strongly about it.
How about we just go with Ribby?
Ribbies? I'm good with is it Ribby or Ribbies?
Ribby.
Anyway, 6 Orioles.
I'm for RBI, just so I can hear Ben McDonald continue to say RBI.
You prefer
SEC guy.
But he could say RBIs. He could
say
do
same.
that.
RBI.
6 Orioles in the last 15 years with 20 or more RBI or RBIs in their first 40 career games.
20 in their first 40 games.
Over the last 15 years.
So what, Dylan Beavers is on this list?
Not Dylan Beavers.
First 40 games.
God.
Yeah, because he's not even close
How
to 40
about
games.
Adam Jones?
Not Adam Jones. And he
Is
predates
Jeremiah
15 years
Jackson,
at this
is Jeremiah
point.
Jackson on this list?
Jeremiah Jackson, the most recent
Wow.
entrant on the list.
Wow.
Last 15
Jeremiah
seasons.
Jackson.
Manny.
Not Manny.
Trey Mancini.
Trey Mancini tops with 28.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many guys are on this list?
How many?
6 total. So there's 4
So
more.
Trey, Jimmy Jacks.
In the last 15 years?
In the last 15 years.
Last 15 years.
Gunner.
Gunner. Exactly 20.
Go 3 more.
3 more. So far, Griffin doing the heavy
He's
lifting.
doing the
on this
heavy
one.
lifting.
Doing the heavy lifting.
How about Matt Wieters?
Not Matt Wieters would predate as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got to be the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Right? Pat Wieters,
So that
Wieters
means
would be
like
09 or 10.
Yeah.
What
So
year?
does this mean somebody came up in 10 that is on this
I think
list?
11 would be 15 because I think
Oh,
it
okay.
counts this year. So I think it starts with 11.
Who came up in 11? Andino? No.
Probably not Andino.
I
mean, these are...
Yeah, I know. Scope.
Not Scope.
Not Cedric.
Not Cedric.
Westberg.
No.
Adley.
Not Adley.
Definitely not Holiday.
Mountcastle.
Mountcastle. Ryan Mountcastle with 26.
I can't imagine he came
There's
up.
some heavy lifting.
Hey, look at you.
I can't imagine he
chipping
came up.
in. Look at you, right?
Quick, Santander.
Not Santander. Did he
No.
start his career in? Did he play at all?
No, he never played.
Never
for
played the
Cleveland.
bigs. Okay.
No.
But yeah, I can't even remember Santander's first couple.
Are these guys we'd really like sort of hit
No,
our
these are
heads?
not very random. These are
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's
These are
probably we
not-
should probably be getting them.
Can't be Jackson Holiday.
No.
Can't be Kobe Mayo. And Beavers hasn't done it yet. And Basayo hasn't done
Definitely,
it yet.
I know. I'm definitely gonna
we
kick
missing?
ourselves unless we've said one. The way he's smirking.
Austin Hayes.
Austin Hayes.
Good one.
Is 20. Absolutely. Very good. And then the 6th is?
I'm trying to think of like the that Manny Machado era.
Mm-hmm.
Debuted with the Orioles. Who else like?
And it
came
has
up
to be
with
women.
Manny?
They started their careers as
Yeah.
Orioles.
I guess it only says Orioles players are 20 plus RBIs in their first 40 career games. So yes, they had to start their career as an Oriole.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Where the hell are we missing?
Well, it definitely couldn't be Jackson Holiday.
No,
It was
definitely was not Jackson
on the
Holiday.
list.
Jackson Holiday's on the list.
Yes.
But he went 0 for 40 in his first 40 at bats.
I'm quite aware.
Jackson Holiday.
Jackson Holiday with 20.
What?
In his first
40 career games.
40 games.
I still don't
Career
think I'm going to go
game.
through every single log here. I don't believe that.
Griffin is a
Showing up Matt
is
Wyrick.
a truther. He's a truther.
By the way, here's just a little tidbit here. What are the Toronto Blue Jays? The Blue Jays are up by 3 games over the Yankees. Who do you like to win the division? Toronto has 3 games at Kansas City.
Okay.
3 at home versus Boston. 3 versus Tampa Bay.
Okay.
The Yankees have 3 here in Baltimore. 3 at home versus the White Sox.
Oh, my.
And 3 versus the Orioles.
You're saying that you might want to look at the odds.
I think they're going to end up at a tie.
I don't know.
I think they're going to end up at a tie.
The Blue Jays are I'm so impressed by how scrappy they are.
Yeah, they are scrappy.
I think that even if the Yankees win,
I think the Yankees could win.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
9-0.
I completely understand what you're
games.
saying, but I do think it's possible that even against a tougher schedule, the Blue Jays could win enough games that they could still hold them off. But what you're saying is maybe it's.
But
going,
here's what's interesting.
For what it's worth, the Yankees are plus 700 to win the AL East, Stan. So.
Wow.
Your theory might be
who would win if it's a tie?
Because they don't do the one game.
Head-to-head.
Yeah, they don't do the one game tiebreaker anymore.
It's a head-to-head.
Who'd you say the Blue Jays have?
The Blue Jays have Kansas City, 3 at Kansas City, 3 versus Boston, 3 versus Tampa. Now, what gets interesting here is Cleveland, who just swept the Tigers. They have 3 at Minnesota, which seems pretty easy.
Doable, yeah.
3 versus the Tigers.
Again.
And then 3 versus Texas. Boston has 3 at Tampa, 3 at Toronto, 3 at Detroit. So they don't have another home game the rest of the season.
Really?
The Blue Jays won 8 of 13 games against the Yankees.
So
the Yankees would have to completely overtake them in order to win the division.
That's hard to but I could see them very easily.
Going 7-0 against the Orioles, yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
and sweeping the White Sox.
100%.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Did you do your research?
Yeah, I mean, he had that grand slam that was in his 11th career game. And then he went 0 for 2 the next night, and then he had he had an RBI in 6 straight games.
Look at that.
After that.
Look at that.
So he had 8 or 7 RBI in 6 games.
Sorry we doubted you, Matt. Sorry. Tubular brought to you by the print issue of Press Box, still available for a few days. Are we ready to make this announcement about the new locations yet, John? No? Okay. No. Not yet. This one's still available for a couple of weeks, and then we're going to have a new. This one's got Derrick Henry on the cover.
A new
great
significant distribution partner.
Great story from Bo Smolka. Go pick it up today, and then as I keep telling you, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be announcing to you, because we're still nearly a month away from the new print issue of Press Box. But when that next print issue of Press Box hits stands, there's going to be all new distribution locations for you to find that next print issue of Press Box. So we're looking forward to telling you about that.
There's actually a chance that they will not fully be in the new locations until the December issue.
Okay. All right.
I mean, we're going to announce it prior to that, but
we're working on it.
Yeah.
We're working on it is what we're telling you.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
It's significant.
Yep. And you can always read it at PressBoxOnline.com. This is what's coming up this weekend. Yankees-Orioles tonight, 7:05 on Masson. Will Warren, Trevor Rogers. So there's a chance. Tomorrow, 7:05, Carlos Rodon, Tomo Sagano. It's also on MLB Network and the rest of the country. And Sunday, Cam Schlittler and Kyle Bradish, 1:35 on Masson. Tomorrow, college football, NBC for Maryland, Wisconsin at 12. Wisconsin still not saying whether Billy Edwards is going to play against his former team.
Is that going to be on the Big Ten Network?
It's on BTN. Tomorrow night, Youngstown State and Towson, 6 o'clock.
Oh, baby.
Monumental and Flow Sports. Youngstown's ranked, right? Aren't they? They're normally pretty good. They're normally a power at that level. Morgan's at home tomorrow at noon against Central State on ESPN+. Stevenson and Hopkins both on the road tomorrow. And on Sunday, the local TV games with the Ravens
Youngstown
off.
is 24th. So an opportunity here for
Yeah, get a nice ranked win. Maybe that could matter to get yourself into the playoffs.
We'll get Las Vegas and the Commanders, I would think.
That's correct. Raiders Commanders, 1 o'clock on Fox. Cowboys Bears is the national window game at 4:25 because, of course.
Because they need to show me all the points that CeeDee Lamb's going to score
right.
for.
As Kevin Harlan pointed out, a late change because CBS originally was going to go with Steelers-Patriots locally, but they have swapped, and now it's going to be Broncos-Chargers, 4 o'clock game. Locally on CBS, and then the Sunday night game, Chiefs-Giants at 8:20. Anything non-sports-wise?
I think so. Swiped.
What is Swiped?
Hulu movie. Lily James plays the visionary founder of the online dating platform Bumble.
Oh, yeah, I did.
So she helped build Tinder, and then apparently they didn't give her any credit, like as a founder.
Okay.
So she was like, "All right, fine, I'll make my own app," and then she made Bumble.
All right.
There's a movie on Hulu about it.
All right.
Haunted Hotel, another Dan Harmon adult cartoon series. He did Rick and Morty.
Right.
But Will Forte does a voice. Skylar Gisondo. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Could be something. I doubt it. And I guess that's really it. A Grammy salute to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Because
hell yeah!
On Sunday night because it's
the 21st night of September.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes.
The 21st night. God, man, they did the soft opening of the new arena like the night before the Springsteen show. They did this thing, and I had to call somebody to get into it. And somebody was Rita, of course. Rita was the one that was able to get me into the show. And I just forget how freaking great Earth, Wind, and Fire
they were
are,
great.
man.
Yeah.
My God, they're just so insanely good. Dude.
And they're still that good?
They were still that good. John, you went to that show, right? Wasn't it incredible? It was incredible, man. They were still that good. I think Maurice is no longer with us, but otherwise, man, God, they were still great.
We got Task, of course, right, Stan?
Yeah.
And then everybody's trying to copy, I guess, Mr. Beast because Fox has 99 to beat, and Ken Jeong and Aaron Andrews host 100 contestants as they go head-to-head in a series of simple games.
I don't want to be
until one contestant is left standing.
I'm good. No, thank you.
I guess just stick with your Mr. Beast YouTube.
I'm gonna watch Baltimoreans this weekend.
Okay.
Because
they're showing it at Owings Mills. Is that?
Oh, they're showing it at Owings Mills now. I know they're showing it at the Senator, right? Was showing.
I don't know. I just know. I know it wasn't showing close.
I believe we're gonna have Michael Strassner on next week to talk about it. So looking forward to checking that out.
So do I need? So I need to see it? Is what you're saying?
Talking to me?
What's that?
Is he talking to me?
Yeah. There's no episode of Task.
No, you're saying Michael Strassner. Yeah. I don't know how he feels about you, to be honest, Stan. Okay. Sorry. We'll talk about that off the air. Right. Thanks today to Kevin Harlan. Thanks to Rich Tamayo. Thanks to Roberto Clemente Jr. Thanks to Stan the Fan. We'll get it all up in the greatest hits section of the
Aspiration
tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. Did you see there was another?
Yeah, I think another one came yesterday. And today.
Yeah. Oh, another today.
I thought so. Or no. Maybe,
there was definitely another episode.
Because what's the New York mayor? The New York mayor. What's his name again?
Mondami.
Yeah, Mondami. He went on the show because apparently he's got something about Ballmer.
What?
Yeah.
That is super weird. Anyway,
I did not watch that one yet.
I believe the Bat Around is on tomorrow morning.
I think we're doing it Sunday. I'm going to be on.
Oh, you're doing the show.
So I think
we're
doing it Sunday.
Sunday morning.
Yes, Sunday at 10.
Sunday at 10. Very good for the Bat Around.
Is that your show now?
I mean, if Paul needs, whenever Paul throws up the bat signal,
he says, "I need a baseball expert." Yeah. This is the defined baseball expert here in Baltimore. So
he said you were only the third or fourth option.
That's Sunday morning, 10 o'clock.
Yes.
Then of course we'll be back on Monday, and then we'll have Lomas Brown will join us on Monday to preview the Lions.
And we'll be joined by Derek Alexander as well.
All right, we'll continue our celebration of 30 seasons of Ravens football with members of the '96 team. The great Derek Alexander will join us on Monday as well. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Game Day Men's Health, Live Casino and Hotel, Costas Inn, CountySports.zone, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com, the Maryland 5-Star, Navy Football, Nick's Fish House. Appreciate all of them.
It's shown at the Cinemark in Towson here, and Owings Mills as well.
All right, very good. Stan, thank you to you, sir.
Thank you.
At Stan the Fan, of course, Monday with Ross and BJ Surhoff. Check that out before the Ravens game. And we will see you again next Friday.
All right. Sorry about that. I'm somebody's relentless.
It's shameful.
It must be relentless
events. Yeah,
relentless
shameful
event.
Performance. All right. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great weekend. Go Birds. Go Maryland. Go Navy. No Navy. Go Towson. Go Morgan. Duke sucks.